Hello, everyone. Welcome to an all-new episode of the LoudCasa Talks. My name is Nate, and alongside is my good buddy Omid.
Hey, what's up, loud crowd, Casa Crew? How y'all doing? I just gotta tell you, man. This episode I am definitely looking forward to. I am just super pumped for this. Like, of course, always
Well,
talk
well,
about loud Casa
first off,
Talks.
we're
Each
actually still have to.
episode is a good thing. You know, I'm always excited to talk loud Casa Talks, but this episode especially is going to be something special to me for obvious reasons.
I mean, obvious reasons. I mean, the little title below our card pretty much tells you that we're going to be talking about your favorite Loud. So I'm
Yes.
pretty sure you're psyched about that. Anyway, so it's been since yesterday, actually, since we actually hanged out. So how was today, technically?
Today has been a chill day. Pretty much just exercising.
Okay. How's the
And
gyms?
then,
Are they looking good? Like safe at all?
yeah, they're looking really good. They're looking really promising.
Okay, that's good to hear because I'm thinking about actually going back to the gym, making sure that I'm okay before heading back to the gym at all. But yeah, yesterday
Awesome.
we actually did hang out. We went to round one, David Buster's for the first time, and actually went back to the arcades. It's an experience that we have never seen since 2 years ago, and I'm glad to be back in the arcades, actually like having fun, winning plushies and figures. So I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
the
definitely been a
experience is
fun
so
year.
much different
Fun.
compared to like what we did last week, where we actually went to San Jose's round one, and it was not, it was not that packed because obviously there was things that were closed over there.
Yeah, the arcade was closed over at the round one sounds that we went to. That arcade section was a total graveyard. Like it was
Mhm.
something that Lucy Loud would be very much interested in.
Well,
Whereas
the thing
the
is,
round one in Concord, on the other hand, like it was so lively and all the arcades were open. It was just like a better round one experience.
the thing is that things are going back to normal, and I'm glad that we're actually going back to normal because now we can have more fun hanging out and things like that again. So,
Thank God.
I mean, like it's gonna open up in June here in California, which means that no social distancing, the masks are gonna come off, which means the freedom technically is coming back. So, but the thing is that though I'm still thinking about my safety as well. So I just want to make sure that I'll be okay, and then Omi's okay too. Make sure everybody's okay when we actually start lifting everything up on June.
Yeah, and always, like I said before, as we said before, if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, please, I highly urge you to do so. It's safe, it's quick, it's easy, and you may feel some side effects, but let me tell you, it's all the worth it when you get vaccinated.
For sure. All right. Now, without small talk, let's actually head over to our recent news. And let's actually let's actually talk about what's going to be happening on Memorial Day weekend. We've had a commercial that dropped on Friday that talked about what is coming Memorial Day weekend, which is we actually thought camp was the only thing that's going to be coming out that weekend, but also Zoom Emergency is also going to be coming out. So you got to actually see both Zoom Emergency and Camped airing on Memorial Day, and it's actually going to be airing all day. So that means you can have like a lot of chances for you to actually watch both specials. So first off, absolutely excited for it. Since we discussed the episode last week, we actually have a commercial that we saw also. So let's actually go further into our thoughts about these two specials. First off with Camp. So Omid, after seeing the commercial, how are you thinking the special will play out, and what are you most excited for in the special?
I think it's going to play into the typical camping episode tropes, where of course you've got them staying in a cabin in the woods. You've got them roasting marshmallows by the campfire. You know, our CAMPFIRESONG
Okay,
song,
although
and
okay, it's not
also
SpongeBob. It's not SpongeBob, by
and
the
also
way.
and also and of course you know it wouldn't be a camping episode without some scary spooky stories.
Oh, I think Lucy will love that.
Lucy will definitely win on this one. Yeah, honestly, overall, I'm just looking forward to another big family trip episode, because I know that there was another one that came out like a year before or 2 years prior, Road Tripped, and I feel that this is going to be sort of like Road Trip, but instead of taking place in Vanzilla, what it's going to take place, in the wilderness in camp.
Yeah, yeah. The way I see it is that there's not really a lot of commercials that have been. There's not really a lot of like sneak peeks that I've seen in that commercial. It's more of you get to see the whole family all together. They're going to camp. Looks like they went to a cave and they're about to get attacked by a bear or something like that. There's a lot of struggles, but I know that they're actually going to, obviously find treasure, which is, the big quest that happens in this 30-minute special. So I can't wait to see all the expectations, the challenges that's going to happen with the family. The other thing too that I'm also excited about is, hold up, Lori's back, and I'm really happy that she is back. We have not seen her in forever, but it looks like she's taking some time off of college. Maybe went back in the summer, and they're hanging out in a camp setting like this. So, obviously, huge Lori fan here. I'm excited to see her back. No special where she's pretty much ghosted. This time around, she's actually with the family, and it seems that I'm excited. Hopefully, that we get to see a lot of emphasis about Lori.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it's literally good to have her back again,
I know. I mean, the last special, I get it. The last special was terrible. But the thing is, like, now, I just hope that we get more emphasis on her. We get a lot of emphasis from the other Loud sisters, but hopefully some things with Lori. Hopefully she gets some, like, screen time instead of just, like, a little appearance, like what happened in Friday Night Fights, for example.
Yeah, honestly, the last time that she had, like, a legit appearance in an episode wasn't even really Loud House. It was a Casa Grandes special called Cursed. And even with that, I feel like she wasn't at her best there either. Mainly because, what the flip? Why would you just hand Bobby over a coffin for him to sleep? Hello, Lori. Bobby is literally your boyfriend. Why don't you just have him sleep in your room right next to you on the same bed? Hello.
Exactly. But you know what? That special was different. So the thing is that this time around, hopefully we can get to see some good expectations from the special. Either way, Cursed itself was also a good episode. Let's just, leave that aside here. But since we're talking about Casa Grande specials, let's actually talk about the second special that's also coming out on Memorial Day, Zoomergency. We already know it's a sync-focused episode, but after seeing the commercial, you have a lot of good feelings about this episode. Mean, explain your thoughts about what you think about Zoomergency now after you saw the commercial.
Well, now that I've seen Zoomergency and I've seen how Sid is going to be in the episode, let me tell you, this episode is going to be wild, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's wild because it's all at the zoo and all.
Yes. Honestly, we have been, like I said before, we have been waiting for a Sid Chang focused episode for many months. And lo and behold, here it is. Like I said before, this is actually a good sign because it really shows how the Casa Grande's staff have been listening to us. They've been answering our prayers, and also, on a side note, I loved Ronnie Ann and Sid's dresses. They look really good.
You mean these dresses?
Yeah.
They're beautiful. They look
really great.
Yes. Well, the other thing too is that I think what they're trying to do here in this setting is that they're doing like a fancy gala where Ronnie Ann and Sid are trying to raise money or something. That's the reason why Carl's doing a DJ work and they're doing some sort of dinner out in the Casa Grande Mercado. But by the way, it's if it's a fundraiser, it's got to be looking fancy. So it makes sense why Sid and Ronnie Ann are looking like fancy girls and stuff like that. So yeah, they're in dresses. They absolutely look cute. So, that's the reason why a lot of people are drawing them right now.
DJ Taco Tron is back. DJ Taco Tron.
I know, exactly. But my thoughts is that I understand Sid tries to help with the zoo. So obviously the focus is going to be on Sid and the family. So I would imagine more of the Changs having more light, which means more Adelaide, more Stanley, more Becca. And obviously Ronnie Ann also going to help out because, Ronnie Ann's her BFF. So I just hope that, there's a lot more support for Sid because obviously the focus is going to be on Sid, but Ronnie Ann's also going to be supportive as well. And then this whole thing where we see a dinner makes it feel like this dinner is going to be the make or break for the zoo. And from the way it looks from the commercial, it feels like it might break it. And it means Sid might lose the zoo and your mom might lose a job. But maybe something happens at the end where somebody gives up big money and then that zoo continues to live on. That's my thoughts, by the way, on how the episode might run.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. Usually with these Casa Grandes and Loud House episodes, usually it always ends with some sort of Deus Ex Machina. So, of course, things are going to go well in the end, Things of course, all the problems are going to be solved at the end. But I'm saying that what I'm looking forward to seeing is how they execute it.
Oh yeah,
That's
for
what matters.
sure. I'm really excited for both. I'm actually more excited to actually see Zoomergency. So, I'm getting my hopes up
Yes.
for that one because obviously it's a Sims focused episode. But the other thing too is that this looks like a really good Casa Grande special that I can't wait for. The Loud House one I'm also looking forward to, but not as much as the Zoomergency one. I feel like that was going to be the one that actually will work in Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the same way. Honestly, I think Zoomergency is the one that I'm the most hyped for of the two, because I feel that it has potential to be stronger. Well, because we have a Sid centric episode. After we have been asking for a Sid centric episode for months, we've been saying, please make a Sid episode, please make a Sid episode, because it's like, how do you get, an Adelaide episode, a freaking Laird episode of all things, right before you get Sid? Like, it doesn't really compute, it doesn't add up. And
Yeah.
also the fact that as much as I'm looking forward to Camped, I really hope that it doesn't fall to the trap of being Road Tripped 2.0, but just in
please.
the wilderness.
Let's just hope not. Well, anyways, both specials, Camped and Zoomergency, will be airing on Memorial Day. We already saw the commercial. So I would imagine this week we're going to see some sneak peeks or something that'll pop up, probably GIFs or something that Nickelodeon's going to, rile up in order for us to, get ourselves psyched up for these two specials. But yeah, Memorial Day is going to be quite exciting to actually put the Loud House and the Casa Grandes. All right, so that's actually it for all the Loud House and Casa Grandes news. But we also want to talk about something that we're also going to plan up here on our YouTube channel. So we've been talking about something different in the next upcoming weeks. As you know, a season finale just dropped yesterday to a pretty popular show. You may have heard of it, called Amphibia. Now, it got delayed by Disney at the last minute for unknown reasons until it came back saying a disclaimer from Spring saying the final scenes will be intense, which it was. It definitely was. The finale got us all riled up, amazed, hyped, teared up, all these kind of emotions you could think of that we need to make a review about this. By the way, sorry, my heart is pounding right now because I'm just continuing to talk about Amphibia. I talked about Amphibia the whole freaking weekend because literally I was watching Amphibia, and getting excited, seeing how awesome it is until the whole last couple of scenes, and then I was pretty much like blindsided about what the heck happened, to say the least. How my reaction was at the end of the episode was like this.
Yes, that was mine too, man. I was just like,
yeah, I know, I can't believe it.
I think I need a hug.
Oh. You were kind of like Pop Up, where you're just like, I can't even. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, honestly, that tone face right there, that pretty much says it all, man.
That's a good shot, by the way. I'm sorry, Marcy, Ann, and Sasha. I can't believe it, but I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all. But oh my god.
Let's just say a lot of stuff happens, and I mean a lot.
It definitely did, and that's why we're about to have that's why we're going to actually have a full episode of not even the LoudCasa Talks. We're calling this an Amphibia special. We're actually going to be reviewing, like from top down, what True Colors was. To say the least, it was absolutely crazy what happened these last couple of scenes in the episode. Anyways, we'll be just to sum up how you saw True Colors, since we'll be reviewing the episode in a future stream. Explain how your feelings were in this finale.
I don't feel safe.
You're like Pop.
Oh my god. What else is there to talk about this episode? Like, honestly, like I said, by the time this episode aired, like I said before, this is the facial expression. I was just, feeling all kinds of feelings. Like, it was just a feels trip, a major, intense feels trip. Like, probably one of the most intense episodes I've ever seen in my life. And that's why it's a perfect episode. Everything about this episode just works for me. the intense action scenes, the comedy, the drama, the, emotional turmoil, the twists and turns, just, everything, like the characters, like how it makes sense for why each of the characters do what they do. And especially the ending, how it's executed very well, in that it doesn't go for any of the Deus Ex Machina tropes. It doesn't, take a shortcut. It doesn't take the easy way out. It shows how each action has its own consequence. It's like one of the most real, and I mean, it is one of the most real Disney Channel episodes I've ever seen. Like, honestly, like, this is sort of a toss-up for me between this episode and Not What He Seems from Gravity Falls, for my spot in my most favorite Disney Channel show episode ever. It is that amazing.
Out of all the endings that I've seen from like Disney Channel shows, like Gravity Falls, for example, I mean, Weirdmageddon was also a really good finale. But it never hit like so emotionally like Amphibia, which happened yesterday. The thing is that we're still not done with Amphibia. There's season 3, so there's more angst, more like possible like heart-wrenching stuff that Matt Braley and the crew is probably gonna do. I mean, like, I'm feeling Marcy right now. It's just I can't believe it. It's just absolutely crazy how I mean, look, this is a Loud House. This is going to be a Loud House. This is going to be obviously a Loud House, LoudCasa Talks podcast. But the thing is that we just wanted to air out our freaking like feelings right now. But we're gonna do this more. We're gonna do this more later, because we are going to have a stream for Amphibia True Colors. So get ready for that. We're going to be doing that on this June, by the way. So just mark your calendars. We haven't made a date yet because we have Memorial Day weekend coming up. We're going to probably pick a date. We're going to pick probably early June in order for us to actually do this. But yeah, we're going to be we're going to be doing a full-on review of Amphibia True Colors, and we can't wait to actually talk to you guys about it. But yeah, that's gonna be coming out. That's gonna be in June. It's a crazy episode. That's all I can say.
My heart, man. My poor heart, man.
Throughout the whole episode, we were just like talking about like throughout our hangout yesterday, we were just talking about like how crazy the episode was and saying like all the theories that happened, like, oh, I hate Sasha for this, but then I love Sasha for now. Oh, I love Anne now. Oh, fuck, I hate Marcy now, and all that kind of stuff. But there's just so much that we talked about during our car ride that now it made me feel like okay. So the thing is, like, I love Amphibia, but then this episode made me really love Amphibia. That made me got me hooked. That got me wanting to actually get season 3 coming out. But it's not coming out until probably winter next year. So
next year, man. Yeah, next year.
We have to wait for that long. They did this for Big City Green. So it's like they're making us wait. But I'm like, I really want it now. It's just making me want to. And FYI, like I said before, the disclaimer works because it makes sense why Disney kind of pulled the plug on it airing before. Because you don't want to have kids scarred just seeing someone. Oh, I'm not going to spoil it, but anyways.
Yeah, I'm glad they.
You don't want to have kids. You don't want to have kids get scarred for life after what you saw in True Colors.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like that disclaimer. Like honestly, it was such a bold move for Disney to do. Like to put that disclaimer, to show you may not want to watch this if your kids get scarred too easily. That's actually really good, and it makes me hope. Like I really hope that disclaimer really helps prevent angry calls from soccer moms. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure about that disclaimer. I mean, you're still gonna have like a lot of complaints about it, but either way, throughout all of Twitter right now, there's a lot of people that have been pretty much saying like all their praise. They're saying like, "What the heck happened?" They're all saying like, "I'm sad. I'm like scarred for life," or etc.
I am too, man. I am too.
Like you never expect that from a Disney Channel show like Amphibia, but here it is, and it's too much to talk about. But yeah, we're going to have a full stream of us talking about Amphibia True Colors. and that's going to be coming up early in June, probably like June 2nd, June 3rd. So keep your eyes keep your eyes focused on what we're going to be doing on YouTube. It's going to be exclusively on YouTube, so hopefully you guys come in to join us on our talks for Amphibia True Colors. Either way, I don't know if I want to watch it again, but I might do it again just because I want to see like all the things that happened, what made things go to season 2. Oh god, it's too much to talk about.
Yeah, so just so you know, you might want to hop on by.
You're trying to make things funny. You're trying to make things happy after what we've just talked about. Okay.
Hey, I gotta line up the mood a bit.
Right. We kind of made things sad just because the episode was absolutely like crazy. Okay, but besides that, that's pretty much it for our recent news. So let's actually head over to our main subject today, which is Luna's path to music stardom. So. All right. Omid is gonna be like praising for Luna. I mean, first off, Omid has his shirt on. Omid has his plushie with him. So
represent, man.
He's representing Luna tonight. So
I am very excited to talk about this lovely lady right here. This lovely girl right here.
Yeah, there she is.
Say hi to everyone in the LoudCasa Talks, sweetie. Say hi to all the audience members. Hey, what's up, dudes and dudettes? Hope you all enjoy the show.
I wish I had Lori with me. Anyways, so let's start it up. The third oldest sibling, and quite frankly, the most passionate Loud next to her roommate Luna Loud, looks like she has one thing that she is looking forward to: a music career. We've seen her rock out many times in many places, from a family fun fair to a high school talent show, and even in a cafe. To say the least, Luna is going to be all about music. But there were many chances for her to actually make it big, like make it up to stardom. She could have had a chance to become a star in a singing competition, or even would have gone solo and became a lead singer in another band. But she denied them for pretty obvious reasons that we're going to be discussing tonight. So let's actually start it off here with our initial thoughts. First off, you first saw Luna Loud. She was in, what was it? She was in, sorry. She was in the first episode of Loud House. Forgot that name. Okay, sorry, let's start it over again. So she appeared in the first episode of the Loud House. She looked like she was a passionate rock star. She, loves her guitar. She loves to have shows, things like that. Omid, how was your first impressions of Luna Loud?
I got to be honest here. Like, when I first saw Luna Loud, I really liked her a lot. Now, this was during a time when I first got started into the show, so I didn't quite have a number one favorite character back then, because to me, each and every Loud really stood out to me in terms of their, completely different personalities, the wide variety of sisters that Lincoln has, and just the amount of hearts that, the show offers, especially when it's, love towards, 11 siblings. Like, it was just something that, when I was watching this episode, like, Luna was one of the characters that really grabbed my interest. However, when it came to favorite characters during the time, it was between Luna, Lana, Luann, and Lucy. So it was sort of, it was sort of a four-way tie in a sense. But then there's this one episode that changed everything for me. The one episode that, really did cement, that really made me choose who my number one favorite Loud is. And we're going to touch upon that right now.
That later on, actually. But anyways.
Later on.
Yeah, but anyways, my first impression for Luna was that, I understand, like, she's a very passionate rock star. And the thing is that that's her trope. Like, she's, rocking up in garb. She's pretty much like with rock star, like, has she has that skeleton tank top, and of course her dress and things like that. So it kind of makes you think like she's a punk rock star. So it makes sense why throughout all of season 1, you get to see her pretty much just rock out, with her guitar, with her drums, with anything. She's pretty much an absolutely passionate character to music. The thing is that what makes me like her a lot is just the fact that she's so passionate for it, and that music is going to be her thing. And throughout all of the Loud House, you can totally see that Luna loves to actually play music, like through when anything. So yeah, my first impression was like, you really love rocking out, and I absolutely love you for that. So not my favorite though, because my favorite was still Luann. I mean, like the comedy one. The comedy one is absolutely the one that always hooks me up. But she's still Luna still grows with me. I mean, like she's in the Loud House. She's into music. She's into things like that, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll take it. And the thing is, like, you never lose a character and things like that. She's always going to be loving music, and that's her trope, and they never break it. And that's what makes Luna Loud, and that's awesome to see that she never broke character and she always continues to love music. And there's always been people who love music like Luna Loud. I've never seen Luna Loud be so passionate about music like that, but let her be, and she's awesome like that.
Always awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, like she was one of the more interesting ones because of all the reasons you just stated. That, like she's very passionate. She's very passionate about her music. She's very passionate about her guitar playing. Like she's really passionate about rocking.
Yep.
Like, she puts the loud in Loud House. Like literally puts the loud in Loud House.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So let's actually start off with like how Luna is. So we'll start it off from season 1 and talk about her passion about music. So in season 1, you get to see her just go around music, either listening to it on the radio or playing all kinds of instruments besides her guitar. I mean, she plays like that one bongo from Link or Swim. She plays drums during what was it? That one Spider episode. So to say the least, she loves music. Like besides the fact that she plays her guitar. How did you like that Luna was very passionate about music from the very first episodes of the show?
I really loved how passionate she is about what she loves, and that is music, of course. Whether it be guitar, drums, bongos, electric piano, keyboard, or even bass, she knows her way around playing music no matter what instrument. And it's very rare for music artists, even the most famous ones, like in general, because usually they only resort to playing one or two instruments. But with Luna, her flexibility on the instruments that she plays is on a whole new level. Like the variety is so wide. And that's what makes me admire her passion and dedication to what she loves.
But my thing about Little Loud is that, she continues to love music and, yet she always plays it all over the Loud House. A lot of people might say it might be annoying, but the thing is that it's just her passion. And no doubt about it, you can just see her play any kind of instrument, from bongos to a guitar to a harp to everything pretty much. So to say the least, that trope that she has as a being a person who loves music, it's pretty much there. And you can see it all over season 1. Like, she may not have her own focus episode, but at the background, you can totally see her just play an instrument. So it just tells you, like, man, I believe her future is going to be about music. And you obviously know that it's going to be about music, knowing that you're continuing on with season 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you see her just continuing to play music and looking at it to be a career and all.
Definitely, I agree, man.
So what's very impactful about season 1 is that there's one episode that Omid is probably going to be talking about now.
Yes.
That the origins of how Luna really loves music. And that would be from Bros About to Rock. It really mentions here how she heard about this McSwagger concert, and it's from there that she, put music as her destiny, to say. Omid, how did you like this origin story for Luna Loud and her love for music?
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. The episode that we are discussing right now, which is for Bros About to Rock, is my favorite season 1 episode. Not only that, but it is also up there in my top 5 favorite Loud House episodes of all time. It's that amazing to me. This episode holds such a special place in my heart, and it has ever since I first saw it back in 2016. I adored it so much. And the main reason being is because it has a particular backstory in general that really changed the game for the Loud House and how they write the Loud Sisters. Because keep in mind, this is a season 1 episode, and this was during a time when the Loud Sisters haven't exactly been fleshed out just yet. Since this was a season 1, of course, 90% of the season is heavily focused on, Lincoln trying to get what he wants, blah, blah, blah. This is the first we have seen that actually gives great insight and great depth to a Loud sister. Not Lincoln himself, but Lincoln's sister. Of course, we have seen her passion for music before, and we have thoroughly enjoyed it each time she presents her, wild rock star side. But we finally get to see why she got into rock music in the first place. What transformed her to become a rock star? And it's because of Mick Swagger. Through his lyrics of his song called Transformation, it's what caused Luna to have, transformation. Ever since then, she became my favorite character. Because of how this is the first episode that gives extra development to a Loud sister. It was a huge stepping stone for writing Loud sisters as actual characters instead of giving them just an ensemble role or having them be a plot device for a Lincoln episode. That was something that I think made this episode really stand out to me in terms of season 1 episodes, because it was definitely the most distinct. It was the most unique one in my opinion. Well, one of the most unique ones in my opinion in terms of how they handle the characters. And even aside from the backstory, Luna Loud herself is just so lovable in this episode, because you could tell that while she does go a bit too crazy, her intentions are just so heartwarming, because you could tell that she wants to share her passion of going to a music concert. She wants to share her passion for music with her siblings. But the thing is that the Loud siblings don't exactly see eye to eye with Luna. They don't exactly understand her passion. And at first, Lincoln feels the same way too. He doesn't quite understand why Luna, shows her music, passion way too much like she does. Mm-hmm. But then, at the end of the day, Lincoln does learn that, the Loud sisters have been overreacting about her after all. She's just, a good, well-intentioned sister who does care about music so much that she wants to share it, with her loved ones, and that includes Lincoln. And that is why Luna and Lincoln have such an awesome time at the end. They jam out to Smooch as big sis and little bro, and it's what really elevates Luna and Lincoln to bond and have such a great, unforgettable concert night. Rock and roll!
Yeah, I would say so too. But the thing is that, throughout this whole show, throughout the whole Loud House, you never get to expect a backstory like what Luna did. And I think Luna's backstory really did hit compared to the other sisters that had backstories. Because this one actually makes sense why Luna just continued to become a really inspired, why she loves to really love music. And a story like this makes sense why, she just went to one concert, a Mick Swagger concert, and then she got so inspired that even she loves Mick Swagger, and you totally see her muse about her, think about her, imagine thinking about him is pretty much his idol to say. So I can totally see Luna just continue to rock on and things like that. And just this backstory was the first out of every other sister. So to say the least, this was very impactful because it just makes sense why Luna just loves music. And this origin story, I think, was really touching. Just the fact that Luna continues to ruin the sister's experience of watching a concert or something. The thing is that that's Luna. She loves to rock and roll. She loves to have a fun time. It may be a bad show or something, but she continues to rock on and stuff like that. That's her passion. So seeing things like this and her origin story of how she became a little girl that loves music and became a huge fan of Mick Swagger, how he got into rock and roll, it just makes sense why have a story like this. It just makes sense for her to actually have an origin story like this. I'm just absolutely happy that Luna gets an origin story like this compared to the other Loud sisters. And I just wish the other Loud sisters actually have something like this, because just the fact that we get to see Luna just rock out like this just makes me think man, she really does love it, and I believe that her future is really going to be all about music, and it's definitely going that way right now.
Yeah, honestly, like ever since this episode, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually been waiting 4 or 5 seasons to have the Loud sisters have their own origin stories of why they got into the things that they did.
Yeah,
Like for
exactly.
example,
Like
we never really
like
got
we should have an episode where Lori actually gets her first cell phone and starts going crazy all about it.
or have Luan. We need an origin story of why Luan got into comedy and into pranks, and we also need an origin story.
We did technically from that one episode, Head Point Anxiety.
Well, head post anxiety, yes, but it only showed her telling jokes to the pets, but we never saw like what drove her to become a comedian in the first place.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good.
We never, you know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah.
What
So something
Luan?
like Luna's story, but switching around with Luan and a comedian or something.
Exactly. We never saw the transformation into the comedian.
Yeah, hopefully we get some sort of backstory like what Luna had, because this story itself was absolutely amazing, and obviously the episode turned out to be the best season 1 episode for the Loud House, both based on what you guys voted for, by the way. All right, but here's the other thing. Here's the other bad part about Luna, though. She could be sort of a diva. In season 1, we actually did see that. In House Music, we get to see that kind of side of Luna. Omid, you're a huge fan of Luna. Do you think it was necessary to see this from her?
Okay, now, of course, just because Luna is my favorite character in the show doesn't mean I'm going to defend every single action she commits, okay? I'm going to look this from a non-biased perspective, okay? So I'm just saying, so if you're CB criticizing Luna's character, don't think I'm bad-mouthing her, dissing her. Like, these are just my thoughts and why I think that she was in the wrong. Now, all I gotta say is that when I saw the bad side of Luna in this episode, I was thinking to myself, way harsh, dude. I mean, it was just a talent show at the family fun fair. It wasn't
she was trying to impress McSwagger.
Like, here's the thing. It wasn't like either way, like even if it was McSwagger or not, the thing is, it's just them having fun. And since she's a huge McSwagger fan, I felt that like she should have known better. I think that she should have known. Okay, I know McSwagger well to know that he's humble enough to see that he would appreciate this because it's family after all. I mean, let's get real. It wasn't like it was America's Next Hitmaker of all things. Oh, right. Sorry. We're going to touch upon that contest later, okay? So just, stick around for that. But the thing is, it was just a small fair. That's it. And it was just, it was just McSwagger going to see it. And you never know whether or not he's really going to like it, So to see her take it way too seriously, up to a point where she goes all J.K. Simmons from Whiplash on them, totally rubbed me off the wrong way. Like, totally rubbed me off the wrong way. But fortunately, though, she does get a lesson learned from a certain old man in a diner, which is, of course, none other than McSwagger himself.
Yep, of course it is.
Yes. And after some realization, Luna comes to the conclusion that she was wrong, and that she goes back to make it up to the family, and they start playing the way they should be playing, the way they've always planned to, which is having fun at the family fun fair. And wouldn't you know it, my expectations were correct, is that McSwagger at the end of the day really appreciated this, no matter how cheesy or corny it was, because at the end of the day, it was them having fun with their family. And especially with Lynn Sr. with his cowbell.
Yeah, with the cowbell.
It was just priceless. Yeah, I love it.
Well, that's kind of a point to point out that Lynn Sr. still loves the cowbell. That's a continuation point, but that's a different story.
So I will say this, though. I will say this, though. Like, when it comes to selfish character episodes, this is one of the very first, and unfortunately, it's my favorite character being selfish. But thankfully, though, compared to others I've seen like over the 5 seasons, this is one of the more tamer ones.
This is one episode where I'm kind of like, Luna, I can't believe you actually can do that to like your, to your family. What if you did that to your bandmates, for example? You try to impress the person, and yeah, you do something like this. This is absolutely diva-like, diva-like behavior. You want things to be perfect, and you're gonna get so angry that you have to do something to make sure it's perfect. Yeah, absolutely out of character for Luna, because the thing is that we love her for loving music, but you never expect to see Luna just be all angry about just trying to make things, perfect. She even splits up with her family, wants to go solo. So it's like, something so out of character. Not my favorite episode, by the way, of with house music. Like maybe average around 7 to 8. But yeah, I absolutely was kind of shocked to see like Luna being all diva-like, and that just didn't struck my chord. But the thing is, like, it did recover at the end of the episode. Where it's like, now you realize, Luna, you did something bad. Can you go back to your family and actually be passionate about music again with everybody else? Which happened. Which they had a fun time at the family fair, and even got recognized by Big Swagger. So, to say the least, Luna didn't need to actually be so angry like this throughout the whole episode. But at least the ending was great. But still, was really out of character for Luna to actually show a bad side to her.
Yeah, but like I said before, compared to most other Selfish episodes, like this is one of the better ones, thankfully. And not just because it's a Luna Loud episode, okay? I'm not being biased here. I really do mean it. This is actually one of the better ones. Like, if you look at it fundamentally.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, to say the least, like, I was not okay with that. But at the same time, like, you never see her go angry like that again, thankfully.
Yeah, that's what I love about Luna is that she never makes the same mistake twice, or at least she doesn't try to make the same mistake twice. I like how throughout each and every episode is a new challenge, a new lesson to learn, a new stepping stone for her. That's what I really like about Luna's episodes overall. Like they don't feel formulaic, or they don't feel like, oh, you're repeating the same mistake again. No, here's what I love about Luna. Like I said, each episode is taken in a different direction. They have their own direction in terms of how to handle Luna's character and her music career, her music pathway.
Yeah, most definitely. And the thing is that, like I said, we're never going to see a bad side to her, because I've never seen that in season two and beyond. So, to say the least, this is just one thing about Luna that pretty much can be like ignored after that. So yeah, let's ignore house music, that episode, and actually move on to like all the other episodes that Luna was featured in. And that would come up in season 2 and 3, where we actually get to see a new side of Luna. Season 2, sorry, nothing extraordinary came from this season. It's just more of Luna just pretty much rocking out, just like playing instruments and things like that. However, one episode stood out to me and pretty much to all the fans in season 2. That episode was Ellis for Love. Throughout the episode, we get to see a side of Luna we didn't see before. An anxious, incompetent rock star who didn't have the courage to ask out her crush, Sam Sharp. Now, in the end, it all worked out for this new couple, but dude, you never see Luna this so anxious and so nervous and stuff like that. So how did you feel about Luna in this episode?
Okay, now even before the big reveal in the end, I do like how Luna displays signs of shyness and anxiety when it comes to her crush. Because with Luna, we've mostly seen her as anything but shy and anxious, given her rock star personality. She's all wild, fun-loving, and, well, loud. But here, with regards to her crush, she takes the opposite approach. And we have seen how she looks down on the floor, how she rubs her arm in an unsure way, and even down to having a soft voice that sounds like she is unsure of herself. Of course, all delivered by the amazing Nika Futterman, who is an amazing voice actress, by the way, so props to her for that. And at first, of course, we thought it would be the guy that she would have a crush on. Because usually in these kinds of stories, particularly high school, it's always the girl having the crush on the guy or vice versa. But here, I love that they did something different, something unexpected, something I believe to be an even stronger direction with Luna's crush dilemma. It turns out that this Sam that Luna has been mentioning throughout this episode actually turns out to be the girl that she's been having fun with instead of the guy. This is such a proud moment for my girl, and such a proud moment for the show as a whole, because it's even more LGBT representation for a show. Like of course, they already did a fantastic job showing LGBT representation with Clyde's dads back in season 1. But this show also further enhances how much this show supports LGBT representation by showing even more characters as, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, etc. So they take the next step further in making one of the main characters part of the LGBT community, with Luna Loud being bisexual. And let me tell you, the last 1 minute, when it was Sam that was reading the letter and then Luna was smiling when she was hiding, I was like, oh my god, yes! They did it! Yes! My favorite character.
I think all of us were expecting throughout the whole episode it was just a guy who was thinking it was going to be Sam, but in the end, when we saw Luna, actually thought it was a girl. That made the whole meeting of Luna being nervous, being all anxious, being like, I can't send this letter out, I can't give my token to this Sam chick. It made sense why she's kind of I don't know if I want to go through this path. I don't know how my judgment is going to be when people actually think of me with Sam. So that's what makes it kind of feels like that LGBT representation is actually there. It's I understand why people can be nervous, especially if you're representing LGBT, that, it's kind of hard right now to actually show that you're going to be bisexual. But the thing is that she still had the courage to actually ask her out. And then it was a proud moment for all Luna fans out here, knowing that Luna actually did ask out a girl, and it turned out she loves Sam. And now we have a brand new couple. The thing is that the way that she feels those emotions and things like that, look, everybody does that too. I have a tough time trying to ask out my crush. Maybe I have a tough time even asking out people that I really like, that it gives me nervous, just like what Luna's representing. So it was wow, you really are showing off how courageous it is. And the thing is I love how this episode shows Luna, how she's a stepping stone of what all of us are supposed to actually, represent, and just say if you love this person, go ahead and ask him out. I know you're going to be nervous about stuff like that, but just ask him out at the end and hopefully see if they really like you at the end. And obviously this couple is now to be, and no doubt about it. I mean, seeing this side of Luna absolutely just represents us to say, because we understand, we absolutely really like this. We actually showcase what Luna was representing here in this episode.
Yeah, exactly. This even works on a storytelling level for all the reasons you just stated. Even if you take away all the LGBT representation, and if you take away the fact that it's a girl that Luna has a crush on, this still works as a solid story. This still works as a solid character development for Luna, because it shows her more shy and anxious side of, wanting to ask someone who Luna has a crush on a date, because we've all been there as high schoolers or even middle schoolers. So in a way, this also works very fundamentally, and also in terms of relatability, because this is something that all of us have gone through in some point of our lives. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let me tell you, as a longtime Luna Loud fan, been a huge fan of Luna since season 1 for Bros About to Rock, and as an ally for the LGBT community, this is honestly the best of both worlds.
I must say so too, and definitely just how Luna represents here in this episode definitely showcases how we are, asking people out, being courageous and things like that. I think Luna was that one person that we need to look forward to from this episode, L is for Love. All right, so besides that, season 2 was pretty much, like I said, Luna pretty much all performing music and stuff like that. She didn't really have a big impact episode unless it's L is for Love. So let's head over to season 3, and you can get to see that her love for music really does show that she's really passionate about music, that she really wants to make it a career. So let's actually start off with the first episode of season 3, Roadie to Nowhere, where starts it off right in a bang. Yes. It starts it off right in a bang on the first episode, because she was a headliner of this talent show at school, but that just also brought up many possibilities for Luna. Like she loves to be a rock star, but at the same time, maybe it might not work for her. Like what she's looking at Chunk. The thing is, she wants to be IT. She wants to be a dentist. She wants to be a waitress. This doesn't look like the same old Luna Loud that I was actually looking forward to from this person who loves music. So, how did you like this, like sidetrack that Luna actually got into doing other jobs besides music?
Now, I have stated before that this is my favorite episode of the Loud House. Yes, I'm dead serious. The episode we're going to be talking about right now is actually my number one favorite, like, of the entire series. And Roadie to Nowhere demonstrates very well the struggle of a rock star who chases one's dreams of having doubt of said dreams coming true. And, it's one of the main reasons why it's a personal favorite of mine. So in Luna's case, she's afraid she might end up in a van like she thought Chunk has been doing because Chunk himself has planned to go to the Rock and Roll Fame, but it never really happened for him in the end. So she fears that she might end up meeting the same fate as Chunk in the future. So what Luna does here is that she tries out other kinds of jobs related to music, like working at a karaoke bar and working at a musical record store. But then
and just a heads up, because those are music stores. That's the reason why she's like so passionate about music. Like when that person actually asked Mick Swagger about a Mick Swagger CD, that she just goes on to the history of Mick Swagger. And then also at the same time, like even if a person was singing karaoke, she's even singing karaoke. She's just pretty much pop into the music. So she still loves music.
Yeah, but unfortunately, those don't quite go so well. So what Luna does after that is that after getting advice about from Lisa about finding jobs that are actually marketable, that are very, very marketable, like jobs that are easy to find. She tries out other jobs like Lynn's table, observing Rita cleaning Flip's less than perfect teeth. And finally, she also witnesses Mr. Grouse doing IT. And in the case of the third job that I mentioned, she does a fantastic job with coding. And the reason why she's such a codemeister is because of the amount of coding experience that she had when working on her songs, when working on her music. So she gets the idea of switching from music to coding, and she tells Mrs. V that because she doesn't think that she'll get into music, she wants to get into coding instead. However, before she comes to that final decision, she comes across a poster that advertises Chunk and his band playing at a bar. And you can see how much fun Chunk has performing the band. And she comes to learn a lesson from her roadie Chunk himself, is that even if no matter how big or small you are, no matter whether you're, playing at sold out stadiums or playing at just a small little local bar, no matter what, as long as you're playing and you're having fun with it, that's what matters at the end. And so I feel that this episode, why it stands out to me as the best is not just because it's a Luna episode, again, not be biased, but because it's such a relatable story that, all of us who aspire to be artists of some kind, like, this is something that, we have gone through. We're still going through to this day, how musicians, artists, actors, well, speaking as an aspiring actor myself, like I want, something I love to do. And pretty much all kinds of artists of any kind, like we have gone through at some point or still going through to this day, like I said, where we chase our dreams, but then it turns out that like those dreams might not come true. Because let's be real here, like in real life, like it's a rare chance that actually does happen, no matter how hard you work in your passion. So I can understand Luna's dilemma here, and I feel that like this episode, honestly, like it's the most real that the Loud House has been, or at least one of the most real that it's ever been, because this is such a realistic dilemma that Luna Loud, who is my favorite character, has has gone through. Like it's a dilemma. It's a realistic dilemma that we go through. But I like how the lesson does teach us that you can live your life full of doubt, or you could do what you love and it'll all work out, as the song clearly states. So at the end of the day, whether you pursue something that you love, like whether it be a career or hobby or something of some kind, just have fun with it. You don't have to quit altogether, because Mrs. V put it best. Music can also be a hobby. And honestly, yeah, I feel that all these reasons and more are why, this episode's my favorite one.
I gotta say though, like throughout this episode, you can just totally see the passion of Luna just continue to be a rock star, continue to be like a huge, person that loves music, and it absolutely shows in this episode. My thing is that when she tried to take on different jobs, it makes sense why you have that in the back of your mind. It's like, am I really gonna be a rock star? You have those doubts, and the thing is, like, the thing that really points out for Luna is that music could be a career, but the thing is, like, there could be some setbacks. There are flaws in characters, which you saw from Luna being mad at season 1, and then you get to see Luna, FYI, just continue to rock out. Continue to do some jobs, side jobs to say the least. And I have to say that I understand Luna's little point there, but the thing is that she still loves music, and it shows, especially with the fact that all of the jobs that she wanted to do got into music, like the coding job, for example. She loves music, she loves to code, so she might even be in IT. The thing is, IT is not for her. It's going to be obviously music, and you can totally see that from when she was working out in the record store, when she was working out in the karaoke bar. It just feels that music is going to be for her, and it shows in this episode where like she continues to rock out. She even goes to Chunk's band performance, and she even like had a good performance there. So to say the least, she really does show that music is going to be all about her. And from this episode on, I must say, she's moving up in the ladder of like trying to make it a career for her.
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on, FYI, to the other parts of season 3. There was one episode that really kind of struck out to all of us. I'm pretty sure all of us, by the way. Really loud music. That was obviously a really amazing episode, considering that it was Luna trying to get her path into stardom. She's still trying to dedicate her life. I mean, this would have actually worked out for her because she was a finalist for this music competition. However, she made a decision to forfeit because of people trying to change her image, which makes sense why she would actually quit. Omid, what did you think about this from Luna?
Okay, so now we're going to jump onto my next favorite episode of the Loud House of all time, Really Loud Music. Now, whereas the previous episode that we touched upon shows a severe doubt of your dreams coming true, this episode touches upon, like, what if your dreams really did come true, but then there was still a massive price to pay? And the price to pay, the price that Luna paid in this episode was her identity. Because it turns out that after she won her music contest, Doug and Michelle, who of course wrote the lyrics, by the way, props to them. Doug and Michelle, the producers, turns out that they're not really fond of the original way that Luna does her music. So what they do is that they change her from Luna to a pink pop star, Lulu. So it turns out that it was pretty much, how should I put it? Corporate interference that was the real antagonist against Luna in this. And this episode what this episode shows is that it doesn't matter like how famous you are or how much stardom you have. Like, if it's at the cost of your own identity, like if you're not going to be yourself when you're famous, then honestly, you're not really happy. So honestly, what's the point? And I like how Luna goes through this dilemma. Like like pretty much it's this dilemma of, is it worth it for fame? And it's especially handled very well in the song "What Have I Done," when she really regrets, um, you know, transforming into Lulu, just for the sake of being famous and stardom and all that. It's a "Be Careful What You Wish For" story, and it's done very well. And especially at the end, where like she takes a huge punch towards Doug and Michelle, where she plays a reprise of "Play It Loud," was just, just pure amazing rockiness.
It's just more of like, oh, Luna would have a chance to actually become, an amazing superstar, to say the least. The thing is that it was absolutely hard to see this from, what was it? Sorry, I gotta put this up here. It was just really hard to actually see from Luna Loud how the corporation was going to actually change her image. But I love the little standpoint that Luna actually brought out in this episode. Like, yeah, she's going to be a musician. It looks like that's going to be her career. She's going to be the next hit maker. She was going to be the next person that's going to be like the next American Idol for all the country. But the thing is that with the popularity comes the cost of it, which means changing your image, not even playing your guitar, changing your name to Lulu, for example. It was absolutely harsh for Luna, but the thing is, like, there were things where it's like Luna could have had it, but I felt proud for Luna in this case, because it's just like, dude, I'm not gonna change my image. I am Luna Loud, and she took off the garb and then pretty much rocked out in America's Next Hitmaker. The thing is that she never won, but she's still being Luna Loud, and that shows at the end of the episode. So to say the least, I'm proud for Luna in this episode, just because this is her, standing up to the corporation, saying like, hey, I hate you changing my image. I want to be Luna Loud. And throughout, and even if she had her chance to stardom here, she's still going to be Luna Loud, and it stands right now. So even it might be a little bit hard for her to actually hit her road for stardom soon, I would imagine it coming up real soon, considering that she's actually that like close to actually becoming a star. I would imagine like somebody actually coming with a contract with her soon. FYI, it actually did happen.
Yes. And we're going to touch upon that later on too. But I needless to say, at the least, let us remember, she will always be Luna. She is not Lulu. She is Luna.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That is her. That is Luna Loud for you. All right, so besides the fact about music, we ought to go back to our couple, by the way, Luna and Sam. We never forget about these guys, because after asking her out, they actually went to a first date. You saw that in the episode Racing Hearts. So after their first date, they had some challenges because, they were struggling. They don't even have anything equal. But you know what, though? They settled up. They would actually settle their differences to make it work. So how did you like this episode? How did you like this ending for this couple?
All right, now this is where we're going to take a break from talking about her music career and go straight into talking about her love life, all right? So get ready, Saluna fans, because let me tell you, you're going to be feeling a whole lot of love for a lot of Saluna that I'll be talking about right now. Now, the episode that we are talking about is, of course, Racing Hearts. In Racing Hearts, there is an astonishing quest contest in which there are teams of two, and wouldn't you know it, Luna and Sam are partners.
No, I love the fact that they continued from Ellis for Love and actually made them a couple, unlike Lenny and her other significant other.
Yes, and so anyway, they do all kinds of activities together, and throughout each challenge, they come to realize that they are much more different than they initially thought. Luna is into lasers and dancing, while Sam is not. Sam is into chicken farms and widely organic juices, while Luna is not. And this causes Luna to have doubt about their relationship, because if they're not going to have anything in common at all, then what's the point in trying to make it work? And after the boating scene, Luna expresses this to Sam, and then Sam comes to the conclusion too. And oh my God, just that scene when they decide to finish the contest as friends, oh my God, it is one of the most, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking scenes I've ever experienced, because it's like, oh my God, is Luna and Sam not going to be a couple anymore? Come on, I don't want that to happen. They're perfect together. Damn
it was a one and done. It was a one and done deal. I mean,
but then the baking challenge comes, and it turns out they're both not into it. So they have a fun time doing horribly at it, and it's just fun to see them blush, fun to see them giggle, fun to see them play around with all these baking ingredients. It's just fun to see these two girls laugh and have fun together again. And so the lesson, and so there comes this important lesson, especially for couples, in which, all couples, like each couple has, differences, has different interests. However, as long as you're willing to embrace your differences, of course, there's a chance that you'll definitely work as a couple as long as you love each other, as long as you love each other's differences, as long as you embrace each other's differences, then honestly, you're still gonna get through. Your love is still gonna be strong as a couple, no matter what.
I have to say this though, like, you know what? For a first date, usually when you see the first date like that, it feels like Luna and Sam may not even make it out of this because they have so many differences and things like that. But the thing is that these two are still passionate for each other. That even through that love letter that Luna gave to Sam, they still love each other, and it's like, wow, this is absolutely amazing just to see those two actually still become a couple. And the other thing too, of course, LGBT representation. And the other thing too, we've already saw that with Clyde's dad's. Why not have it to a high schooler's life? Because obviously they want to represent it here, and it was great. The thing is that I'm just treating them like a regular old couple, and it absolutely is cute with these two. And I'm so happy that this actually still continues. So to say the least, these two actually were meant for each other, to say the least. They love rock and roll. They really do have these things in common. They really don't have a lot of things in common, but the other thing too is that they're trying to work it out. And couples kind of do that too. So it kind of like makes a good lesson to say that even with these differences, you can try to make it work between the two of you. And throughout this next couple episodes that we're going to be discussing, you don't see a lot of Luna and Sam moments, but to say the least, they're still together in a couple of these episodes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I love that this episode. What I love about Luna episodes in general is that the lessons and morals that they teach in Luna-centric episodes, I feel that they're the most realistic, in my opinion.
Okay.
And this is one of them.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so let's move over to season 4 as we continue on this little train of like how Luna episodes have been. And let's actually talk about, we talked about this a lot. Season 1, she was passionate about music. Season 3, she looks like she's more passionate about music. I think right now in season 4 is when she started to get pretty realistic and say like, "Hey, I really love music," and it would be really shown in deep cuts, because in that episode, they would take on the first task of not canceling the music club. And FYI, they now have a band. By the way, it feels like Luna's now in a band called not the Moon Goats in this episode. From here, you get to see more passionate Luna, pretty much into music, by making sure this music club continues to go on. So to say the least, she really represents it well and say like, hey, I love music. Let's not cancel this club. I don't want this to happen. How did you like this part of her seeing in this episode?
This is one of those episodes in which like it shows Luna at her most passion for music. Because the thing with this episode is that like she's not doing it for her own love of music, but rather she's doing it for her friends' love of music. In a way, like it's a small club's love of music that she wants to save. And that's what I love about her, is that in this episode, it's where like she looks out for not only like her love of music, but the love of music of her friends, her bandmates as well. And it's gone up to a point where she forms her own army of aspiring musicians and rock stars to pretty much go against the other clubs as well, like go against Luan's Theater Club and Lori's Sports Club. And it forms into a 3-way war between the 3 clubs and the 3 Loud sisters. So I do love how like she is willing to do whatever it takes to save the music club, for her sake and for her friends' sake as well. Now, in terms of where I stand, like I said, I definitely would be Team Luna. Like on the one hand, Team Luna, but on the other hand, I love theater. You know, I've done a lot of
So
theater
you
in my
gotta pick
life.
besides. We gotta pick which one are you gonna be on. So if you're a student and Royal was high, who would you go for, Luna or Sam, or Luna or Luann?
I can't. I love Luna. She's my favorite character. But then on the other hand, like theater is my passion also. So you know, win-win. Either way, I win.
You're at an impasse, sir.
In the middle. I'm caught in the middle.
You're caught in the middle between those two.
The two things I love. Two things I love.
No, what I love about this episode is that the passion of Luna continues to grow. Like, you know, like I've said before, season 3, she starts to get all passionate about music, where she just continues to rock and roll at a concert. It continues to grow again, where she, you know, has a club where she has a band and she loves to rock and roll with them. And the thing is, it's about to get canceled. So obviously she's doing all kinds of things, like doing petitions, rocking out in front of Principal Rivers, and pretty much start a revolt saying like, hey, we're not canceling this club. We're going to do something about it. Like this picture, it pretty much shows. So to say the least, like, look, Luna is absolutely into music. And like I said, it absolutely shows. It totally tells me that the career, the thing, that pathway forward for Luna is pretty much music. And it's showing right now. It's like, I can't let this happen. I need it to happen.
Exactly, because when you do think about it, like a school club, like a music club, really does enhance your skills, like when you're in high school. So of course she wants to save it.
But I think too is like, yeah, it's just the fact that like, hey, I want to be more represented. I want to make sure like my music career can like last long here in Royal Woods High School before I actually head to college and maybe go into a band in college. Who knows? But to say the least, this episode for Luna Loud, I would say really does impact her a whole lot, knowing that her passion for music still continues on and continues to be great from this point forward. Now here's the other thing. Of course, we never forget Luna's relationship with Sam, by the way. We get look. It feels like in every episode. Luna, like it feels like in every episode moving forward from each season, it feels like Luna and Sam are going to continue on to becoming a bigger OPTP, and having music become a thing for Luna. So in season 4, more episodes of Luna and Sam are coming out, and it just feels like they are going to be the OTP, I must say. So, you already saw the episode. You saw Luna and Sam pretty much cat sit for Clyde, and to say the least, they really actually worked it out together. Omid, we're pretty sure you're gonna say yes to this. To say the least, do you think these two are absolutely clicking together?
Yes, 100% yes, baby, 100% yes. This is beautiful. I feel this is another step forward in the relationship, because it shows Luna calling and counting on Sam for help with taking care of Clyde's cats, and also when Sam played a huge part in Luna's scheme, brilliant, satisfying scheme, tricking Lincoln, Lenny, and Luann into thinking she was going bad according to her diary. Oh my god, it was so satisfying. By the way, I just loved it. Because from what I've seen in the past, from Racing Hearts and Sam's own podcast episode with Lana, she is great with animals. I mean, she is very passionate about them. I would even argue that, honestly, she has a bright future as a veterinarian. Like, she's really that great with animals. So, you see Luna and Sam having lots of fun together, taking care of the cats, and even putting on cat filters. That was
that was cute. That was really cute.
I thought they were a perfect match. Oh, and also the lullaby song, the cat lullaby song.
That lullaby song is pretty much making everybody go to sleep. I mean, you get to see.
Warms my heart.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Warms my heart. Like, honestly, like I would just love to put that song every time I go to sleep. It's just so
wow.
Yes.
Oh man.
And also, of course, at the end, when Luna tells the McBrides the truth, they thank her for being honest with Luna, and also not only that, but they give her money so she can go get McSwagger tickets. And oh my god, this is a beautiful moment. One of the most beautiful moments in Nana's history. When Sam gives her like the share of money so that she can get the VIP tickets. Here it comes. It's Luna and Sam Luna doing to Sam's cheek, KISSING.
Oh my god.
It's yes. I've been waiting for a kissing scene. Oh my god. Like any type of kissing scene. Oh my god. I was just head over heels for it. I was so excited. I was like, Luna kiss Sam. It finally happened. It's another step forward.
I know it's not a kiss. I know it's not a flip to lip kiss, but to say the least, a kiss actually does make it like a true.
It's a lip on the cheek. But still, I'll take that kiss too anytime. Yeah, like so. And then like at the end, especially, the end is pretty much shows one of the best closing shots I've ever seen in the Loud House episode. One of my top 5 closing shots in the Loud House episode, where you see Luna and Sam sleeping together, their heads tilting, like touching each other. And then you got like Luna dreaming about Big Swagger sleeping. And then you got the McBride sleeping as well. But then especially the best part is, of course, Sam and Luna touching heads, tilting heads, sleeping with each other.
We get it. It's a cute moment. I believe Omid pretty much answers the question. Sam and Luna OTP. Yes, I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm in heaven. Yeah. We want more of that, please.
Omid is passionate about Sam and Luna, by the way. But and FYI, I think after this episode, it just tells me that Sam and Luna are going to be a couple. And you don't see it as much as Bobby and Lori, for example, but it just shows every time you see Sam and Luna together, it just feels like they're going to be a huge like OTP. They're bound to be together. So anytime someone struggles, like maybe we'll have a Sam episode where Sam is struggling on, taking care of her brother, for example. Luna will come in because she actually takes care of Lincoln. So there could be a little opposite, like perfect gig where Sam needs Luna's help. There could be an episode just like that, and it's going to have the same reaction like what we saw here. So to say the least, this is a absolutely, I think, confirmation that this is an OTP, and it absolutely is a cute OTP having these two together as rock stars working together as a bandmates and things like that. So, yes, I love these two.
Best OTP. Like, yeah,
we can't say best OTP. We have Ronnie Kid. We have Bobby and Lori.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone has their own best OTP technically. Like some have Ronnie Kid, some have Stellakin in your case.
Hey, in my case, I want Stellakin.
Some have.
I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm still passionate for it.
Some have Lori and Bobby, but the guys, to me, this is my OTP, my number 1 OTP of the show. Sal Luna's best OTP. End of story.
Okay, well, that was pretty much it. The other thing, too, is that we don't have another Sam and Luna episode, but I'm pretty sure if there's another Sam and Luna episode in season 5, we're going to erupt like what Omid did right now. But here's the other thing about season 5, though, because we're currently at season 5, and it feels like this Moon Goats band that Luna's in is pretty much her future, because it looks like it's going on that right direction. We get to see, Sully and Bazzy pretty much be the bandmates of Sam and Luna. They're going to become the Moon Goats. They pretty much have gigs set up. They pretty much have performances ready for them. And that isn't until a chance for her to actually go solo and actually lead a band herself. But the other thing too about that moment there, the band actually was favoring Luna to actually pursue her career of going solo. And I'm like, ooh, interesting. So from that episode, do you think this was a perfect chance for Luna to actually have a music career?
Now, the episode we're going to be talking about here is, of course, one of my absolute favorite season 5 episodes, Bands Together. Now, this episode shares a very similar trait with Really Loud Music, in that this episode also shows what happens when your dreams do become a reality, when your dreams do come true. But however, just like with that episode, this episode shows how having your dreams come true comes at a big price. The only difference is that with Really Loud Music, the price that Luna had to pay was her identity. With this episode, the price that she had to pay was her friends, her real bandmates, in a sense. Now, band manager Katie Chris only brings on board Luna to play in her own famous band and in stadiums too and all that stuff, which is everything Luna had dreamed of, except it turns out to not be the case with this particular case. Now, we know how much of a tight relationship that Luna has with her bandmates, with Mazzy and Sully, and especially Sam. Oh my god, that Chic Squish! That Chic
Oh my god.
everything to me. That Chic Squish! Yes.
Oh my god.
But
We just
I
had
will
a cheek
cherish
squish
that
already.
image.
We just had a cheek squish already. A perfect gig.
That I will cherish that image forever in my head. So it turns out that things don't go so well when Luna agrees to the deal. Not only does it strain her relationship with her bandmates, her real friends, but however, it also what happens is that it also gives her a really hard time because her new bandmates, like, they're completely different from her old ones and that they're not friendly at all. They take their music way too seriously, and they're like they don't even show any kind of warmth towards Luna. Like, they're not very welcoming of her at all. So so after things don't go so well with Luna and her new bandmates, and then Luna decides, okay, this isn't my new bandmates. Being together in stadium is not worth it. I'm gonna go back to my old team bandmates. She tries to make it up to Sam, Mazzy, and Sully by saying that she was wrong to leave them. However, rather than just forgiving Luna right away and having her join the band immediately, it turns out that unfortunately she's been replaced by Chunk. And so while she doesn't make it to the band initially, she wants to make up to them regardless by being their roadie, because what matters is that they're together no matter what. So what happens is that Luna comes up with the idea to set up Chunk with Katie's band, because Chunk has been dreaming longer than Luna has to pretty much play in stadiums and all that. And so it's sort of a win-win situation for both Luna and Chunk. Chunk gets to play in a band, like in a sold-out stadium, which is his ultimate dream. And Luna goes back to playing with her old bandmates and having a good time again, like being a moon goat again. So I like how this episode teaches a lesson that pretty much no matter how famous or how where you play, whether it be solo stadiums or all that, what matters is the chemistry between you and your bandmates. That's the thing. If you don't have any real chemistry at all, despite the high stardom, it won't mean much. You'll be empty. So honestly, it's better to go with the teammates that you consider your friends, rather than going with the teammates, with the bandmates that only give you clout and nothing else.
Yeah. So I was actually pretty shocked about this episode because I was thinking, like, I think the Luna and the Moon Goats are going to be the next best thing. The thing is that when they wanted to showcase it to a manager, like a music producer, they wanted Luna only. So the thing is that I was like, are you sure you want to break up the band like that? Well, not break up the band, but more like take Luna away. And apparently the band really agreed with that. So it's kind of like, Luna, you had your chance of actually, becoming a rock star with a different band, but at the same time, it's not the same band that, the Moon Goats gave you. Pretty much not those pranks. You don't have those pranks. You don't have those fun times with that band, which makes sense why Luna need to go back, because it's like, you know what? Even if I have to, not become a star anymore, I'll still be a part of the Moon Goats. You know what? We're going to start from scratch. We're pretty much doing the same thing all over again, where you'll have a chance of actually going to stardom, like really loud music, but you got to start from like the bottom up again, which Luna and the Moon Goats are doing. I mean, either way, like they're still very popular, even if Luna decided to actually not be a part of that band. So Luna and the Moon Goats, they're still playing in that coffee bar. And so far, that's how it is right now. It seems that Luna is currently looking to be a part of the Moon Goats, the lead singer of the Moon Goats, pretty much the leader of the Moon Goats, and it's looking like that's how it is going to be right now. I mean, like at the end of the episode, yeah, we get to see Chunk pretty much leave, and FYI, I'm pretty sure Chunk's gone. So goodbye to Chunk. Yeah, goodbye to Chunk, because maybe Luna might see him again in like a concert somewhere, but Chunk is pretty much like gone. Her Roadie is gone, but you know what? She has a band right now, so I believe that she'll be okay. They can find another Roadie somewhere, but I think Luna is going to be pretty much relying on the Moon Goats to become that popular band that may be striving with her coming up, like in season 5 and beyond.
Yeah, on a side note, I really hope that this isn't the last that we see of Chunk, because I really love the big old bloat, the big old English guy. Like honestly, out of all the characters that John DiMaggio has voiced in the Loud House, honestly, Chunk is my favorite one of them all. Mainly because of how he shares this big brother relationship with Luna, and about how he has helped with Luna's music career, you know, not just being a roadie, but also giving her important lessons to learn when it comes to being a musician, like in Roadie to Nowhere. I really love how he also helps Luna here by giving Luna the position of being a moon goat again, while pursuing his own dream of being a famous musician himself. I just wish that his role here, his role hasn't been that big ever since Roadie to Nowhere. Like I was hoping we get more of Luna and Chunk's relationship in the series, like have more of that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Chunk is just a secondary character. The only thing that Chunk is relatable to is Luna. And if you pretty much bring Chunk away from Luna, it pretty much shows that, we don't really need you anymore. I know Chunk is a pretty nice guy, but he's just been that secondary character that's only supporting Luna, not everybody else. So, it kind of is sad to see Chunk go away, but I mean, Luna's pretty much by herself now, and she has bandmates with her. So to say the least, I think she's going to be okay.
I'm pretty confident too, especially since this is a team effort. They do work well as a team and as a band. So honestly, as long as they work hard, as long as they cooperate well, as long as they put as much practice into what they love, I have a feeling they're going to be a very successful band in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so that pretty much is where we're at right now in season 5. Well, we have no other Luna episodes to talk about. There's no projection of another Luna episode coming up. So now it's time for us to actually talk about what we think Luna Loud's future is going to be. Obid, we'll start off with you. From season 5 and from here on forward, from season 5 and beyond, how do you think Luna Loud's future is going to look like?
Okay, honestly, yes, this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm going to say right now, her future is bright as the sun, baby. Because I have a feeling it's this. Luna's going to stay with the Moon Goats for a long time. They're still going to be a band for many, many years. And the more that they practice, the more shows that they play, the more successful they become. They're going to be the next Queen, the next Beatles, the next The Who. They're going to be that successful in their adult years, of course. And then, of course, in terms of Luna and Sam, let me tell you, big things are going to happen to them. Their love is going to be as strong as ever.
Of course
They're
it is.
Saluna wedding. We want a Saluna wedding. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Saluna wedding. I now pronounce you Luna and Sam. Let's go, baby. And then after that, Luna and Sam are going to move together to England when they're adults. They're still going to be
thinking about England. You're thinking about an England wedding, so I would imagine the band is pretty much moving to England.
Yes, an entire English wedding.
So it's kind of like the path of Queen to say. Is that what we're trying to figure out here?
Yes, Luna Loud is going to be the female Freddie Mercury. She's going to be that. Awesome.
I just hope he doesn't get. I just hope he doesn't get into a single career or something like that Freddie Mercury did.
And no, once again, let me reiterate. This is not me being biased at all, okay? Like I said, from what I've seen, from so much that I've seen from Luna, from the different lessons that she learns throughout these episodes, to the way that she blossoms her relationship with Sam and her bandmates, and just to her origin story, and just to how much hard work that she puts into her music, her songs, and everything. Let me tell you, her future is bright. She's going to be the next Freddie Mercury. Her band's going to be successful as ever. Let me tell you, her music legacy is going to live on for years, baby. Let's go.
That's pretty much what Domit says. But my thing right now is that I get it. It's going to be with the Moon Goats, and I believe the Moon Goats are going to strive hard. Like they're going to have these high school concerts. I would imagine like at their graduation, the Moon Goats are going to perform. I feel like that's going to be a thing, and I would imagine there is when they start to get like all the recognition and stuff like that. Like Luna doesn't need to go to college; she can just go straight to she can go straight to a band thing, like get a gig and get some money off that, and pretty much like get herself striving right now. That's the reason why she's in high school right now, just being in a music club, performing music and things like that. And she can perform everything, like a harp, like a drum. The list goes on. So to say the least, she's pretty much her future is pretty much all about music, and the Moon Goats is pretty much going to bring her up all the way to pretty much music stardom. I have to say this though, like when she gets to her adult years, if we're ever going to have like a spinoff or anything like that, I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. But Luna Loud is pretty much going to be that band. What was it? The lead singer of a very popular band, like what Amin said, like not like Beatles, like more like Queen, like it's going to have some amazing hit songs. They're going to become popular. They're going to go to world tours. It just feels like that's going to be up for her. And it all begins from the first episode of The Loud House, where she's just so passionate about music. It just tells you that, from her music standpoint, from season 1 in the first episode, it makes sense for her to actually go from music stardom all the way up to the top.
Yes,
obviously.
Yes. I'm saying now, Moon Goats is going to get a platinum album, baby. I can see it now. Moon Goats, platinum album. Let's go.
You know what? They're going to do like a thing where they're going to like, do a montage of what happens next for Luna. It's like maybe in the series finale of The Loud House, it'd probably be like Luna's pretty much leaving The Loud House and pretty much she's off to like music stardom. She's not going to be with a swagger like what happened to Butterfly Effect, but at least she's going to be with Sam, with Mazzy and Sully, and they're going to be pretty much the Moon Goats, pretty much thriving through like all kinds of concerts that are going to be going on for her. And she's going to live a successful life, and it's going to be all about music, and that's her dream, and she's pretty much fulfilling her dream. That's my thing for what I'm thinking about for Luna. Now, obviously, we want to talk about Luna and Sam. They're going to be a couple. They already pretty much officially put them as an OTP. They're pretty much one true pairing, and they're going to get married. Omid has pretty much put it out there. I will also say that they're going to get married. They're going to have like a great life, no matter where they're going to live. Maybe they might live in Japan and actually have a good life there. I don't know. I mean,
I would imagine them taking it. I would consider Japan their honeymoon, but then after their honeymoon, like England is their homeland, their hometown. Well, again,
like most of the popular bands are from England, which makes sense for them to actually, we won't get married in.
Yeah, and she's into British rock too.
Look. I would see like Luna and Sam pretty much like live in the States until they get married, and then eventually they probably like live out wherever their tour goes. So they probably will be touring a lot more in England, which makes sense for them to move to England. But it all depends on like how Luna and Sam are. But it all depends on how the band is going to roll. And obviously, Luna and Sam are in the band together. So I mean, I would imagine like things are going to be all great for them. So yeah, I would say like we pretty much established it from the very beginning of this episode that Luna is going to be all about music, and it already from the first season all the way up, it just tells you that Luna is all about music, that she's totally all about the songs, all about being in a band, because you all think that she was going to go solo because of like being in that amazing Hitmaker song, but now that she has a supporting cast with Sully, Mazzy, and Sam, it just feels like now the band is pretty much lifting her and the rest of the band all to stardom. And I believe like in the future, Luna's about to be a rock star, and that's her dream, and she's fulfilling it. And that's my thoughts. I believe Luna's going to have a great career. It's looking bright for her, like you said, Ami.
Yes, absolutely. And even during her adult years, there are some trials and tribulations and new lessons to learn, like as a rock star and as a member of the Moon Goats. So honestly, I feel that, she's going to learn more lessons. She's going to go through more trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, those are actually going to help her grow even more as a person and as a rock star. So yeah, I'm definitely like, if there's a Luna Loud spinoff by any chance, honestly, sign me up for that. Where's the petition? Let's go. Sign me up.
No doubt you want that. You want to see that happen. But of course, the Loud House is still currently in their high school years, so they're probably going to be another season or two before Luna actually graduates. We'll see. But I feel like
a guy could dream. A guy could dream, man.
I believe they're going to go far. All right, so that was pretty much it for our talk about Luna Loud. Now let's actually head over to our fan reactions page. We want to thank those who actually went to our Twitter and actually put some comments on our question of this podcast of like what you think Luna Loud's future is going to be. So we have like a little bit of answers here. So I'll give you like the best ones that I saw. This one is from AKM221. He also commented on our last podcast. He says this: honestly, I'm interested to see where Luna and Sam's relationship will go, and it could approach kiss on the lips territory. Also, a duet between Luna and Sam, please. In terms of professional career, I think Band Together has already showed us Luna will stick by the band. I mean, he pretty much put up the points of what we said today.
Bro, in terms of the first thing that you said, kiss on lips territory, and a duet between Luna and Sam. Honestly, like writers, if you're listening to this, make it happen right now. Like, go in the writing room, like write that down, write that shit down. Like, Luna and Sam perform a duet, they kiss on the lips together. Honestly, do it right now.
I think that's going to be happening. It's going to happen eventually. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a kiss on the lips in a season 5 episode of The Loud House. Just watch.
Like, make a first draft right now, man. Make a first draft. And then, go from there.
All right. So this is from K Palace on Twitter. He says here, if they ever do another time skip episode, it would be interesting to see how Luna would feel being the oldest. She doesn't seem like someone who would want to be tied down by responsibilities and would probably be upset if family life really started to interfere with her career. Interesting thought there.
Yeah, honestly, if Lenny decides to move and that leaves Luna filling the position as the big sister, honestly, like I can honestly see that work. Because what it is that there's like some sort of conflict between being an older sister and being a band member of the Moon Goats, because like honestly there are so many ways that you could work with this conflict. Like, let's say like the band has to perform at a big opening night, right? And so Lynn Senior and Rita have to go out and pretty much they're pretty much on their anniversary trip, so that leaves her with her younger siblings. Like, honestly, I can make it work because it's Luna trying to make it to like the big show, while at the same time she has to watch over her siblings. But then it turns out that the bar, like the show that she tries to perform, is actually 21 plus, so there's no way in hell that her younger siblings can attend. So I actually want to see an episode about that, like making an episode in which she tries to perform the big show while at the same time having her siblings being watched over by some sort of babysitter.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. Why not actually have an episode where like Luna has to take care of like a kid and she's like, I can't do this anymore. I need to actually, talk about my band. We're getting popular. I don't know. That could be something that would be pretty impactful if they actually did put an episode like that. All right, so one more comment that I can put up, but the other thing too is like you can ignore the last part. Luna will get her big break along with her band members and bring rock and roll back to the mainstream. She'll probably marry Sam somewhere down the line. And then the last part here is like, but the fame eventually got to her and she joined the 27th Club from a drug overdose. I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, the only way that I can ever see that happen is only if someone actually does an R-rated fan.
It's more like movie. You can't even actually put that. You can't even put that on the Loud House. It's more like you probably are gonna put it on Paramount Plus or probably like on CBS That's
what I mean. Like there's absolutely no way in hell that you can ever make this canon. Like I said, the only way you can make this work is if someone made a, like I said, R-rated fan-made movie of Luna in her adult years. And even at that, you can't really limit it to just that, because chances are, like you said, Nate, like there's a good chance, well, not really good chance, very, very slim chance that Paramount Plus could actually produce and pick this up like as a Paramount original where you have Luna in her adult years, R-rated movie.
So to say the least, it would probably be just like Bohemian Rhapsody. Are they trying to do something like that? Look, you're trying to portray Freddie Mercury. He did go on drugs.
Bohemian Loud City. Like, I would imagine this be titled like Paramount Plus presents Bohemian Loud City, loosely based on the Loud House.
Yeah,
rated R.
Look, if we're going to continue with the Loud House role, I don't think there's going to be portrayal of that kind of stuff. Look, this is a kid show. This is not supposed to be something that, it's going to be portrayed here in the show, unless they actually put something like more of an adult theme, like, show for Luna. I do not think that's going to happen. I feel like Laurie's going to have that spinoff compared to Luna, but time will tell if they actually are going to do spinoffs. Look, SpongeBob has too many of them right now.
Yeah, do not remind me, man. Don't even remind me.
Yeah, but fortunately, there's more SpongeBob spin-offs. Hopefully, Loud House doesn't get to that. But we already have the Casa Grandes, so
yeah, I think that's fine enough. And honestly, going back to his idea of Luna and her drug overdose, like the 27 Club idea. Honestly, I feel that has a better chance of being on Netflix than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more of a thing of a Netflix thing. So maybe that's the next Loud House movie. Probably not. All right, that's pretty much it for our episode of the LoudCasa Talks. Thank you very much for all who have been watching our stream. Remember that you can listen to our LoudCasa Talks wherever you can, on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you like the stream on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell button so you can get notified of whenever we stream next. Just remember, this Thursday we do have a mini episode coming out. We're going to be reviewing the two newest episodes of The Loud House that came out last Friday, Director's Rut and Friday Night Fights. So get ready to check that out this Thursday. And then we'll be taking a week off because next week is Memorial Day weekend. We do have plans, so we will not be able to have the next episode up for you next week, but the week after that, we're going to be talking about the comedian of the Loud House, Luann Loud, and talk about how her future is going to be. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And also, FYI, if you do love Amphibia, remember to check out our Amphibia stream. We don't know when we're going to do it, but we're going to be doing that eventually. We're going to be probably traumatized after doing it. Wait. If you're doing that face, I swear to God, if you're doing that face, I might as well bring it back.
Yeah.
If you're doing that face again, you might as well do that again. We're doing all of it.
Yeah, I can't even perfect that face. I honestly, if you're gonna talk about our feelings towards Amphibia, honestly, this is it.
Look, I
can't even perfect that face.
There's too much to talk about this episode. I mean, oh my goodness, it's so much. Anyways, that's pretty much it for our LoudCasa Talks episode. Thank you very much for listening and checking out the stream. My name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for watching this. Thank you all so much for listening. And let me tell you, this is one of the most fun I've ever had, especially when talking about my favorite character. Like, it was such a blast to, talk about and fangasm over. And let me just say thank you all so much for your support. And this girl has something to say, saying thank you all so much, dudes. And until next time, good night, Loud House. And smell you later, dudes.